Look, you hear it with them BrainSurfin boys. Not sponsored by Anchor, but definitely getting held down by them. With Anchor.com, you can record your thoughts, your feelings, and voice them out for the world to hear. The best part about Anchor is you record your content here, and it will be linked to every other major podcast platform. If you're not down with Anchor yet, you're missing out. But like I said, Anchor.com, rock with us. Cuff. Come catch these waves. The Brain Surfing Podcast. I'm on some other shit, constantly giving content. Other niggas just came and went. My ex bitch was light skinned, like the whip. I switched the tint. Said I got a podcast. This bitch think we fresh and fit. Everything make me stand out. Never needed a handout. Podcast high demand. While they saying I'm the man now. Comments coming in. Brain Surfing say I'm too legit. The Brain Surfing Podcast on Instagram. Like a pic. Hey. Hey yo, what's going on, world? It's your boy Cuff. And today's episode will be about, just how we are raised and the things we see, the things we experience, and the things we see our parents experience, siblings, so forth and so on. Like it kind of molds us to the people we become as adults. Now, I mean, obviously, let me not say obviously, because everybody view things differently, but just for me, from my perspective, like it's kind of common sense. You know what I mean? Like obviously the things you see growing up is gonna mold you and kind of make you who you are as a person, right? But I don't think everyone realizes like how deep it really is at times, right? And maybe I should say not that the things we see make us who we are as adults, because it's more like our experiences, not just the things we see, but the experiences, the things we go through, kind of mold us into the people we are as adults. So maybe I should say like some things look more regular to you and more normal and more of the norm when you see those things as a kid. So then the way you view things as an adult is kind of molded by your childhood. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me hop into it. For example, a lot of men look at women with multiple children and they like red flag. And I'm not saying I see that and be like, oh, she got multiple kids, the dad probably not around. Let me hop on that. Like, let me be that father figure real quick. Like, I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is I don't run from that. And if I'm interested in a woman and she has kids, I could take that on. It's not a big deal at all. Now, that may be because me growing up, I had multiple siblings and, everyone didn't have their dad around, you know what I'm saying? But my stepdad came into our lives. Not saying I didn't have my dad, but we didn't all have the same dad and not everyone had their dad around. So yeah, my stepdad came into our lives, eventually married my mom. He was there for us in all ways. You know what I'm saying? And I understand how beneficial that was when it came to me in my adulthood. Like I can look back at a lot of things that he did and how it really helped me out. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm ever messing with a woman or talking to a woman who has kids, like I take on that challenge because it is a challenge. You know what I'm saying? You're not those kids' father. You know what I'm saying? She can leave at any point, and at that point, most women like you're not the biological father, so they're not gonna let you stay in contact with the kids, anything like that. But yeah, what I'm saying is, I seen a man come in and start dating a woman who had four kids, and before they were married, she had five because she took in my cousin. Um, So yeah, like he took that on with no problem, and I seen how beneficial it was. So if you talk to a woman, you find out she got kids and the dad not around, like I don't want to say like you should be like, oh, let me step in, like this this is where this is where I fit in at. I'm not saying that, but what I am saying is that shouldn't be a reason that you don't want to talk to that woman. But like I say, once again, I view it that way because I had a stepdad that came in dating my mom who had multiple children, like above three. And men even could see two and be like, nah, I'm good. Like, I could damn near a red flag, you know what I'm saying? And then, also, kind of staying on that topic, um, I was from the hood and my dad was pretty hood, you know what I'm saying? My stepdad came around and he was from the hood and everything, and he done lived some street life, but he changed his life around and went to college, and like he got degrees and got into the whole computer type stuff. So with that, like I seen him and how he was able to come from areas like where I had came from and where I was living at, right? And seeing him go the route and being something different than when I seen every day in the hood, it let me know like, yo, you don't have to be this. Like, I could also be that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that gave me a different picture. Like, I didn't like a lot of people tell you when you're in the hood, you don't everybody you see that's getting money, it's all drug dealers and so forth and so on. But see, I seen that, yeah. But I also seen a person who came from that. It was living in that. We was in the hood. We living good though, but we was in the hood though when while he was around and stuff like that. But like I said, I seen him as a person that came from that, but got past that, elevated his life, and became something that I've never seen through anyone else. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't see other people, black men, who were living good without the risk. Like maybe I should put it that way. And then to take it further, there's other things also, like he should take us on camping trips every Father's Day weekend. Like that was something at that time that never even crossed my mind. Like camping wasn't even a thing. Like I was always good in school and everything like that, but like I don't even remember anything being mentioned in school about camping. I don't know why they would teach us that, but I'm just saying like before he came around, it wasn't even a thought. You know what I'm saying? But after going, it was like a great experience where we was ready to do it every Father's Day weekend. We was ready to get out there. Like even when we got older, we were still going for a good amount of time, to a certain age, of course. But we was out there, and honestly, I'm 37 in March. I'm ready to start going again. You know what I'm saying? It's something that I would like to do with my kids and so forth and so on. So that right there even opened my brain more to like know like in the hood you don't see that, but just because you don't see it doesn't mean it's not something that you should get into or it's not something you should try. Even on a smaller scale, you don't see people like swimming like that in the hood. You don't see people um wrestling in Minnesota is pretty big. You know what I'm saying? But even wrestling, back when I was in school or baseball stuff like that, it was like basketball, football, and street shit. You know what I mean? That's all it was. But through my stepdad, like I seen that it was way much more to what I could do and way much more to life than just being one certain thing that I seen on a daily basis, whether it was at school, through other students, some of the teachers, staff, as far as hall monitors, social workers, whatever it may be. Like everybody kind of had more of that, that is like kind of hood. And a lot of the people were dealing with hood kids, so they carried themselves a certain way, probably just to kind of make sure the kids know, like, hey, like this ain't no game. Like I'm for real out here. Don't play. It could be something like that too. I'm not really sure, but like I said, through my the people in my family, you know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm able to view the world and just, you know, more for what it really is. Like for another example, I'm also a very understanding person. The way a lot of people um the way a lot of people just view women in general, but let's just talk about the hood. A lot of ways that men view women in the hood. Like I see through the women in my family beautiful women, not just on the outside neither. More importantly, on the inside. So like I know that there are beautiful women out there, whether African American or any other race, like real women. You know what I'm saying? And since I've seen this and I've seen my mom go hard for hers and grind without having to do the extra, I see my auntie do that. My auntie basically went from one person to another when it comes to lifestyle, personality, parenting, so forth and so on. I seen my sister go from one person to another. You know what I'm saying? She made the transition early in her teenage years, and she moved from Minnesota to Georgia. Like I've seen some strong women hold things down, and even those women I've seen be misunderstood in ways. So like, and those are some of the tougher women that I know. Right. The crazy thing is I've seen them all break down and also be emotional. You know what I'm saying? So when dudes be feeling like, yo, a lot of these girls out here these days, they ain't got no heart. They cold. They. I'm like, I know a woman in my family who has a huge heart, and from the outside looking in, you might view her that way. But I'm not gonna look at her saying a woman saying, "Oh, fuck these niggas." That's emotion talking. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I've seen it through family members who were strong and seen the things that may have caused them to think that way at one point. So I understand it. I don't knock it at all. I understand it. And for that reason, I'm not like knocking those women or looking at them sideways or nothing like that. I'm more understanding to it, and I can work with it. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I've seen it, I understand it, and it just is what it is. Like, share, comment the BrainSurfin podcast on all podcast listening platforms, including YouTube. Come catch these waves. And not to transition to something a little bit more negative, but you know, if through the people in your family, you also can learn things about people in general. You know what I'm saying? Like there are certain things that can happen in your life. Like let me go negative a little bit real quick. Just let me go negative a little bit real quick. All right, so for example, there were things between my mom and my biological father that I don't want to get into the details, but that could make me feel like at one point in time, neither one of them really cared for me like that. And that was probably the hardest thing I've ever had to deal with as far as like leaking into my adulthood. To this day, I still would say I have, some issues when it comes to if it gets to a point where a person says they love me, my expectation for you just goes up high because it's like if you really love me, it's like it's a lot that come with that. And in my later 20s, early 30s, years ago, I started to realize like the way that I accept love and feel love is to me the right way. You know what I'm saying? And that's because of the way I felt it growing up. You know what I'm saying? Like my stepdad, I don't remember him ever saying he loved me. Like never. I don't remember that like ever, right? But I felt like he loved me more than like anyone else damn near. So even in my adulthood for parenting, or when it comes to anyone that I'm dating or dealing with on a serious note, if it gets to like, okay, let's start with the parenting thing. So on the aspect of parenting, like with my kids, I like to buy them stuff and all of that. Yeah, I'm also very tough on them and stuff, right? But my stepdad was tough, and as a kid, I didn't always understand it, and I viewed it in a kind of a negative eye. So you know what I'm saying? But I didn't overreact to it as much as my siblings did, but I didn't like it as a kid. I felt like he was a little bit overbearing, like a little bit like he wasn't into us having friends and stuff like that. Later, I found out he was more worried about us building our relationship because as siblings, we weren't as close as we were to some of our friends. So he kind of wanted to cut the friends out. It wanted us to work on us. It didn't make sense back then, but it made sense as an adult looking back at it. You know what I'm saying? But like I was saying though, back to more of the negative part of it because I kind of went from kind of hopped off that real quick, but back to the negative part of it. Um, you can see some of your closest family members do things to you or to each other, and it's like, damn, like if you a family member and do that to me, then a person who I'm not related to at all, there's no telling what they would do. So it can make you kind of skeptical of all people, which in my opinion isn't the worst thing, but like you can miss out on relationships, so forth and so on, being so on guard like that. You know what I'm saying? You gotta let loose or let it flow, just kind of live life, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of times like some very terrible things can happen to you through your family members. Like for example, you could take girls for instance, right? If I've dated a girl before who has been touched on by two family members, right? And even the way that she liked to have sex was like different. Like what she viewed as sex and how she thought sex was supposed to be was different because of her experiences. Like as time went on, and I noticed early on, like, damn, she be on some, you know what I mean? Not to be, detailed, but I was like, yo, like, it's cool, but something just seemed a little off. Because if I'm with you, I'm gonna pay you enough attention to where I would hope I'm able to notice something's a little off. And maybe I can help you with that. So yeah, I noticed like some things that were a little off or different or weird or out of the norm to me. So I had conversations with her and realized that, she was touched on when she was younger and that affected her sexual life. You know what I'm saying? So we worked on that and we got past that together. Like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie, to this day I'm still happy I was happy. I'm happy that I was able to assist her with that. You know what I mean? Because uh, I don't know how to really even speak on it that much without going into details or kind of letting it be known who I'm talking about. Because some people who listen, they know the people that I've been with. So you know what I'm saying? Like I was saying though, or kind of transitioning a little bit, but I just think that we all should work on being more self-aware. I don't know if that's a skill that people just have. It's a trait that people just have, or something you can develop and just get better at. But if we all could be more self-aware and understand and the things that we've been through in our childhood, like our adulthood is like that much easier, it's that much better. Like for real, like you ever wonder why certain things are triggers to you? I think if you really rewind and think to your childhood, I promise you can figure out and piece together some things that'll really let you know like that's why I react like that to those situations. Like, wow, that's crazy. And ultimately, that being that have that self awareness that can help you change the way you react to certain things because we all have traits about ourselves that we would love to change or at the least alter a little bit. You know what I mean? Like nobody's perfect. So obviously there's something about yourself you don't like and you would like to understand it better, come to terms with it a little bit better. And maybe you can do these things through therapy. You can find out some of these things through therapy, or through listening to my podcast. You feel me? And it even goes further than our childhood. To kind of end this off, it goes even further than our childhood. Even as young adults, 18, 21, 23, you may experience some things in life that really, really alter the way your brain works, how you view people in general, or just how you view things, period, right? For instance, there were a time period where I was homeless, right? And without throwing anyone under the bus, I'm gonna tell this little story. Someone in my family was dating someone and they were living together. The person they were dating suggested I come stay with them, but my family member told them, nah, I don't want him staying here. Now, because of my childhood and this understanding that people are people, human beings are human beings, whether people are family or not, especially when you get grown, the assistance and the care and the love that you may give to them or be willing to give to them might not come back to you. But once again, it's your homeboy Cuffed. I'm happy y'all tuned in with me. You feel me? This shit went smooth. I hope I can get more guests on here. But ultimately, the main point of this episode is not only self awareness, accountability, but we should all just really dig into our childhoods and see why we have become the people we are today from the way we move, the way we think, the way we operate, whatever way words you want to use. All of these things can really be figured out when you piece together experiences that you had as a child with your siblings, with your parents, with your aunties and uncles, with your teachers, or with your friends. But once again, it's your homeboy Cuff with the BrainSurfin podcast, and I'm out this thing. Peace and blessings to all.